Hey folks, I'm Matt Walker, dietitian with Food and Friends, and welcome back to Nutrition in the Kitchen, the cooking portion of Food and Friends Nutrition Education webinar series. Today, I'll be using some of the ingredients from our groceries to go deliveries to make a creative turkey rice pilaf in 30 minutes using one pot. Let's get into it.
One of the keys to good, budget-friendly cooking is to use your ingredients in creative ways. Today, I'd like to show you a different way to use the frozen turkey burgers we send. For this recipe using our turkey burgers, you will need diced tomatoes, the burger, obviously, scallions, a bell pepper, a red onion, rice, parsley, and garlic. When you pull them out of the bag, try to spread them out so the camera can actually get a look at them if you happen to be hosting a cooking show. First, we'll want to chop our vegetables, and there's a smart way to cut up a pepper to avoid getting seeds everywhere. First, remove the stem and place it top down in your cutting board. Then, slice downward to remove the lobes of the pepper, letting your blade follow the creases you can see on the outside. When done this way, most of the bitter white part and almost all the seeds stay with the core of the pepper to be easily thrown in the trash, leaving you with the sweet red parts you want. Next, take each piece and place it flat on the board, pressing down firmly to keep it flat. Using the same knuckles curl technique we've shown before, slice the pepper into strips before gathering all the pieces together and dicing. Here, I'm using a red pepper, but any of the colors would work, and all bell peppers are good sources of vitamin C, though the red, yellow, and orange types do tend to have more vitamin C than their green cousins. Using a bench scraper to move large amounts of ingredients is a great way to keep your knife sharp and safe. Scallions, first remove any raggedy bits from the tops and the root portion from the bottom. If you see any bits of skin around the base, you can also peel these off to get a nicer final product. Similar to the bell pepper slices, push these together and chop down the length of the scallions. You may notice that I'm slicing them at an angle, and there's a very important nutritional reason for this. It looks prettier. We've cut onions a couple times on this show already, so I'm not going to dwell on it here. This time we're slicing this onion, so you can just remove both the top and bottom of the half, remove the outer skin, and then simply slice through one time. We only need one half of this recipe, so save the other for another occasion. We're going to do a little prep work on the turkey burger as well. Since burgers are really just ground meat, they can be broken up and used in lots of different dishes. Our turkey burgers come pre-seasoned, so they have the added benefit of adding their flavor to the rest of the dish, a lot like using sausages in a similar dish. Breaking up the meat beforehand helps get a good brown crust on the meat without having to break it up in the pan and release all of its moisture. The last bit of veggie prep that I almost forgot to do is slice a single garlic clove. Lightly crushing the clove under your knife should make it easier to peel, though in this case it didn't help me that much. Here we go. Gotta get every little bit off. Take your time, don't worry, you're not on camera or anything. Once you've finally got it unwrapped, simply chop down like everything else into thin slices. Now we can start cooking. Add olive oil to coat the bottom of a saucepan heating over medium. Next, add your onions to sauté, stirring and tossing the pan to coat them in the oil. Once these are starting to brown, add in your peppers and continue to cook. After just a few minutes of cooking and stirring, you should start to see some color developing on the vegetables. Once they're starting to brown, add in your sliced garlic, give it just a few seconds in the hot oil, and then begin adding in your meat. Try to space out the chunks to allow for maximum browning with the surface of the pan. Now that I've touched raw bird, this is a good time to talk about hand washing rules. Use hot water and soap and scrub for 20 seconds, making sure to get your wrists, between the fingers, and under the nails. This helps prevent germs from getting into the food that you're going to be eating later. Once the turkey bits have started to brown, use your now squeaky clean hands to add in your paprika, stirring to coat everything with a little of the spice. By this point, the mixture should be starting to look and smell very tasty. Next, we'll add in our rice. We want to put this in before the liquid to give it a chance to pick up the seasoned oil that's now carrying the flavors from the turkey and paprika. So stir it around to keep everything distributed before adding in your stock. When adding in your stock, use the amount of liquid that the rice package calls for. They do more research on the product than we could ever do. Bring this to a simmer, and then it's very important that you cover the pot. You may notice that I am not covering the pot. That was a mistake. Do as I say, not as I do. This is also a good time to prep your parsley. Remove the leaves and small stems from the larger stems so that they'll be ready to chop later. As the liquid simmers, the rice should be absorbing all those flavors. But once again, I'm reminding you to put a lid on the pot. I am being dumb here. While you wait, this is a good time to do some dishes, clean up your station, pace back and forth, or start dancing with your coworker who wandered into the kitchen. Once your rice has softened, which again will take much longer if you don't have a lid, add in your diced tomatoes and stir to heat through, followed by your scallions, which will get the same treatment. When it's time to chop your parsley, fold the leaves together into a tight bundle that you can chop through easily. This is a good guideline for all soft herbs. Once you've chopped through it one time, place your hand on top of the blade and rock the blade back and forth across the cutting board to finely chop. Once you've got it fully chopped, turn off the stove, stir in your parsley, and you're done.
So I'm here with Jen, one of my fellow dietitians here at Food and Friends, and she's got to try this out. So
Very excited to try this out.
good.
We're always looking for different ways to use the turkey burger, and I think this is a super simple way to do it. And super delicious.
Got a little paprika in there, some pepper going on, and a couple of nice veggies. Absolutely. All you. In perfect size for two.